activities and followed by your favorite time of the day, which is evening dinner and cocktails. Okay, so very excited to start the day with Mr. Vijay Parthasarathi. I've always heard of him through Pandeyji over the years, but got a chance to meet him for the first time this year. He's known to many of you. He's been coming and taking motivational sessions with TSI team for years now. And once again, he has joined us this time. He has worked in FMCG right from Procter & Gamble, Colgate-Palmolive, Unilever, the list goes on. He has helped take companies from zero revenue, or first employee to 100 million globally, and I'm going to reach out to you because I want tips on that. He was voted one of the top 10 best leadership coaches of 2021 by Silicon India. And the latest in the series of his achievements is that he has published an international and domestic #1 selling bestseller book, The Golden Ladder, Rise to Be Unstoppable, which is with pretty much everyone here. Some of you have got your copies today. And the very interesting thing is that it also has a case study of our own company, TSI Power India, so you need to read the book and find where that is. His vision is to empower 1 lakh people by 2030 to shine like diamonds in the sky, and we're very happy to be associated with you. Can I please invite you to come on stage?
Thank you so much, Harshita. A very good morning, everybody. Thank you, Rajesh, for giving me this opportunity, and thank you, David. Mike is an issue. David. Hey, Bahar. A very good morning, everybody, and thank you, David, once again for taking time to be here. And thank you, Mr. Umesh. Great knowing you. First time I'm interacting with you. And once again, thank you, everybody, for taking the time and the effort to be here. And I really wish each one of you the best things in life, and may you always vibrate at the highest frequency and be the best version of yourself. And that's my true wish for you. And in each of these books, this is what I'm going to talk about today, I have made it as personal as possible for the people whom I know. I have created that. I'm trying to see that no two books have the same message, and I mean every single word of it. So, before I delve into this book, I just thought I will share a couple of facts about this book. Like Harshita said, this book was launched in the Kindle form, in the e-book form on the 27th of March 2023, and in the paperback form on the April 3rd, 2023. Now, there is something called pre-order in a book. That means before you publish, people can actually buy it, and that's called pre-order. And you don't have to write even one line for it to be pre-ordered. It will be available, and you can buy it when it's published. So in that 1 month, that's called pre-order, the book hit #1 international seller without even a line in it. Yeah. So on the pre-order form. And on day #1, the book was #1 in India, an Amazon bestseller. And in day number 15, it hit 6 categories bestseller: knowledge capital, business communication, business and industries, psychology, human resources, and sales. So these are the 6 categories that the book hit #1. And I'm sincerely grateful to Rajesh and Ashish to have taken the initiative to present this book to everybody here. Ashish especially, I want to congratulate you on having achieved something phenomenal. And it's not just getting a degree or something from some place, but it's what goes behind it. And the persistence and the determination to make something happen is not ordinary. And I thank you and congratulate you for that. And just like Rajesh has done, this book to everybody. This is the 22nd company which is given to every employee in the organization. And there are certain companies. Basically, this book contains 21 mantras. So there are certain companies, what they have done, they have formed groups. And every group, once a week, discusses one mantra in the book. So that's the kind of love and affection this book has generated. There is a global unicorn in UK which gives books to the employees, 3 or 4 different books every year. This year, in 2023, the managing director of that company, it's a surgical company, CMR Surgical, they're a $1 billion company, they gave 5 books. First one was Good to Great by Jim Collins. Second was Atomic Habits by James Clear. Third was 7 Habits of Highly Successful People by Stephen Covey. Fourth was Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. And the fifth was Golden Ladder. So this is, I thought, I'd just give you a preview of what the book is all about. And so, setting the context for this book. Around 2:30 in the afternoon, in a remote village in Rajasthan, a 26-year-old was playing with a sister. And the sister's ring fell on the tin roof of their house. And he went to fetch it. And in that process, he got electrocuted. But he didn't die. They had to amputate all his 4 limbs. It's 26, all 4 limbs gone. Fast forward to 1 year, he was not found in the rehab camps for the depressed, nor was he found attempting to commit suicide. He had cracked probably India's largest and the most difficult exam, CAT, and got selected to IIM Ahmedabad. This is a true story. You may or may not have control on what happens to you, but you have 100% control on what you do with what happens to you. You may or may not have control on what happens to you, but what you do with what happens to you, you have 100% control. That's the theme line of this entire book in various forms. One COVID, and the world collapsed. Thousands and thousands of companies have got shut down, millions of individuals have got displaced, and few of them highly dysfunctional. But there are a select few who have actually withstood not just one COVID, but hundreds of them. World War I, World War II, Spanish flu, the Great Depression, and 100 other COVIDs along the way. Not just withstood, they have been number 1 in 2023. And sometimes selling very, very ordinary products that anybody can make, but they may take a lifelong time to actually sell. Something like a Colgate toothpaste, 216 years, 2023, 53% market share, number 1. Something like Johnson & Johnson, who's selling pharmaceuticals in 2023, they're number 1. And you know how amazing is it that there's only one company in this entire world, who can mix sugar and water and make you and me drink for 137 years. Nobody else can make it? Coke. Right? So, similarly, all these guys, I realized, now having been privileged to be a part of a majority of these companies, Procter & Gamble, the Tata Group, Unilever, Colgate, Palmolive, Johnson & Johnson, I recognized that this is not a coincidence. Like Mr. Rishikesh, I think if he's here, yesterday he mentioned that there are no accidents. There are no accidents or coincidences in life. What I realized is that this is a systematic science that they have put together to bring this to fruition. And this can continue for the next 100 years if they follow it. They know a specific secret science, almost a secret science, which is based on a structured set of systems and processes which makes this happen. And that was what I had crystallized in this book, The Golden Ladder. Now this Golden Ladder, now just another thing about this. Each of these companies that I talk about, each of them, have been longer on this planet than the combined longevity of The great 4 or 5 today, Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and take what, add a few, 10 other 10 or 15 companies, all of them put together have not been on this planet as much as each of them have. And so effectively, most of us, I think like he was mentioning yesterday, all of us come onto this planet, we eat, make love, and die. But there are a few who actually stamp their presence on this planet. They are the people who leave a legacy for their family and children to live beyond their time. And I'm inviting you to be a part of that legacy so that you can be that different person. And this, when you look at it in the context of golden ladder, it's like any other ladder. It's got 2 legs. So let's take the left leg first. This is the leg that the majority of us chase. The education, the technology, the intelligence, the hard work. And using business models, which are most of the time totally wrong. The legends, as we call, as the people who can survive for centuries, they use a business model which is completely different from the majority of the people who do this. They use a business model which tells you that Nike is not in the business of shoes. A business model which tells you that Starbucks is not in the business of coffee, Royal Enfield is not in the business of bikes, Coke is not in the business of soft drinks, and TSI is not in the business of power conditioners. And so what business are they in? So this is the first thing that they do. They create a uniqueness, not the traditional USP as they call that. USP is dead. It's not. There is a uniqueness that they create in the business model, which I have shared with you today in this book. Apart from that, what they do is, when things go completely stuck, how can I generate new opportunities in the products, in the environments, in the markets? A new innovative way that they do, which is what I've shared next. Third, we were talking of customer ambassadors. These guys create something like what I call as a customer evangelist. People will kill each other to defend the company. Imagine, we're all on WhatsApp groups, we have 40-year-old friends, and sometimes we 40-year-old friends fight and leave the group, defending somebody who's in the political system whom we have never heard of, never seen, and would probably never see ever in life. That is the power of the brand. The power that a customer evangelist will do. You go to an Apple user and tell him I have a Samsung with about 100 more features, and he'll say go to hell. Right? You don't know anything about phones. So there is a methodology of how you can create customer evangelists, which is what I've shared in the book. And the most important asset that all of us have, and I think, Rajesh, I'm not saying because you're in front of me, you created a unique recipe here, which I go to so many companies, but I can tell you this, that there is a special, unique thing that you created, and that's the key. The greatest asset that we have is the people. And everybody says it. Google also said it. People are the best family. They threw out 10,000 guys. So you don't throw out family. Right? And so how do you create that ownership in each of these employees? And these people have a specific science, which I've shared in the book. The other thing that we do is, all of us go into negotiations multiple times, right, in thousands and millions of dollars. We go there saying we want a win-win situations. But believe me, heart of hearts, we want a win-lose situation. We come back and feel very proud of how we have actually won getting a lose situation for the other person. But these people understand that with every statement, with every negotiation that somebody is doing, that there's a hidden psychological need of that human being. And if you can understand that and address that, you can truly generate a win-win. So the power of negotiation and conflict resolution is what they do, and this is what I shared in this book. Let me leave with you one interesting thought when we talk about Coke. I'm not propagating Coke, I don't drink Coke, but I'm just telling you the methodology of business, of how anybody can do it. Whatever I'm telling you here and what I've written in the book, anybody can do it. It costs zero money, All it requires, like what Ujjwal was saying, implementation, read it, practice it, you will see a difference. In MIT, they did a research on 100 MIT students. They gave 50 of them Coke cans and 50 of them Pepsi cans. And they blindfolded them. They asked them to evaluate the taste. Any guesses? What was the result? 51 Coke, 49 Pepsi, approximately same. They took the same 100 guys, this is in MIT, and they took them to a different room and gave them again 50 cans of Coke and 50 cans of Pepsi. This time they removed the blindfold and they asked him to evaluate the taste. Any guesses? What was the result? Huh? Yeah, 73 Coke, 25 Pepsi or something like that. These guys were baffled. This is, how can this happen? How can it drastically change so much? So they didn't go back home and create their own model. What they did, they took MRI machines and connected all these 100 guys on MRI machines and did a brain mapping study. I mean, this is, and they did a brain mapping study to understand the biochemistry that happens when all this happens. So just pause for a while and I'll tell you certain things most of you may be aware. There's something called the prefrontal cortex in our brain, which is responsible for emotions. So if you're able to touch that in some form, you can actually manage your emotions. Not by giving you a drug, just by from outside, almost like hypnosis. There is something else which is called the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex in the middle of our brain. That is responsible for the highest of emotions, for cognitive associations, for memory. And these are very, very powerful associations. Now this dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is connected to the pleasure centers in our brain through what is known as a dopamine link. So most of you may know that typically there are four pleasure chemicals in our brain: dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, and oxytocin, right? So what they discovered was something amazing. When people saw Coke in the MRI machine, this is what they found. And they were connected by tubes. They were all lying down, tubes of generating Pepsi and Coke into their mouth. And as they watched, and as the Coke came and touched their tongue, this dorsolateral prefrontal cortex clicked that pleasure center, and then dopamine secreted in the brain of the customer. So even if the customer had genuinely wanted to say that Pepsi tastes better, he could not. He just said Coke tastes better. So that is the kind of effective business modeling that they do when they understand the brain of the customer. So that is the left leg of the golden ladder. Now, most of the people are not even aware, leave alone recognize, the importance of yet another leg, the right leg of this golden ladder. This right leg is the most powerful instrument that we all have, we all possess. An instrument that can, if you handle well, can take us to the heights of success, and if you don't handle it, can bring us down to the depths of despair. An instrument where Mr. Singh yesterday was saying, and there would be people wondering, an instrument which would make people believe that this guy doesn't seem to be doing much, but he's doing phenomenal success, he's achieving phenomenal success. Because they have understood what this power of the right leg is. But we don't have an instruction manual for this. Any guesses? What is this right leg? This right leg is our mind. Right? So now the interesting thing is, a lot of people are aware of this. The interesting thing is, unless you have both these legs anchored and powered properly, you will never be able to go beyond a particular level. No amount of hard work and no amount of education and technology can take you beyond this. It's like saying that, it's like, the harder you push a door that doesn't exist, you'll be always standing outside and wondering why you're getting tired. So, and the interesting thing is, if all your left leg things, your education, technology, everything is not in the best of form, but if your right leg is brilliantly attuned, you can achieve the impossible. And if the right leg is not, then whatever you do on the left leg may not be helpful. I just want to tell you another one or two things. There are many people, there are probably geniuses in the world who have written on business transformation. And there are equally geniuses in the world who have written about personal mastery, be it Sadhguru, Sri Ravi Shankar, and whoever it is. But probably, at least in India, I believe there is not a single book that combines both business transformation and personal mastery in one place, because I believe strongly that's the need of the hour. Now, a lot of books people write with a lot of research, desk research, external research, interviewing CEOs, interviewing people around the world, the greatest entrepreneurs. But I believe that no research, no conversations can substitute your own personal experience, where you witness something and you imbibe that knowledge and transform it into action and see results for yourself. If the market share of a company has collapsed from 37% to 7% in less than 2 weeks and gone back to 37% in 18 months, I have been a personal witness to that happening. If a 45-year-old CEO who's been roaring across the world has suddenly succumbed to depression and anxiety disorders, only to rise stronger than ever before, I have had a personal experience of that. So every single word in this book resonates with that personal experience. So this is what I also want you to know. Now, coming back to the mind, what is the mind? And just one more thing, every single organization that we talk about, it's not that the CEO's mind is very powerful. Because one CEO will come and the one entrepreneur will come and go. They have a system which creates this whole thing. Nike, for example, they have a 100,000 square feet facility where they say, see it happen to make it happen. There's nothing inside except powering the mind. Djokovic, for example, talks about that. So coming back to the mind, whatever each one of you is seeing on the screen of your life today, whatever you're seeing, your current status of your health, your current status of your business, your bank balance, your relationships, whatever you're seeing on the screen of your life today is what you have fed into the subconscious of your mind, either knowingly or unknowingly. That's the truth. Now, just to repeat, which what a lot of you may know, the mind has got two aspects, the conscious mind and the subconscious. Conscious is just 5%, and all of us are driven by 95%, which is submerged, like the iceberg on water. 95% is subconscious mind. But the interesting thing is, we just don't have access, let alone control to the subconscious mind. But we behave, all of us, and generate on the screen of our lives based on our subconscious. Whatever we feed into the subconscious is what we will believe. And whatever we believe is what we will achieve. Whatever we believe is what we will achieve. Nothing more, nothing less. If you believe you're good at math, you will be good at math. If you believe I can't speak in public, you will not be able to speak in public. If you believe I can only do 1 crore in this year, you can never do 1.1 crores. If whatever you believe is what you will achieve. But how do you believe? When things are falling apart all over the place, and you're able to do, say, maybe 10 lakhs a year as your revenue, how do you believe you can do 10 crores a month? So here's the interesting thing. The geniuses of the world have found a formula how you can actually reprogram your subconscious mind. If you know that formula, then you will be able to do whatever you want. You will be able to stop predicting the future. You will be able to manifest whatever you want. Whatever you want. If you want to change what you're seeing in your life, you need to do something completely different. It's like this. For example, if you're watching a television show and you don't like what you're watching, by changing the TV or going to another city to watch the TV, you will be foolish. You need to change the channel. So if you want to change what you're seeing on the screen of your life, like I was mentioning, at any stage of your life, at anything, whatever you have, if you strongly desire, if you intensely desire something, and if you do whatever it takes, the universe will conspire to bring things and circumstances into your life to make things happen, like you mentioned yesterday. That is the truth. So then if you know the formula and if you desire it, so A lot of people talk about it. Jim Carrey, for example, talks about how you can do visualization, how you visualize the $10 million check. Djokovic constantly talks about how he visualizes making it to the #1 slot. But no one talks to you about the process of how do I do it. Visualization is not imagination. So I have put in this book the exact process of what these geniuses do, how it has helped me, and we were talking about the BMW last time, right? How it's helped me and how it can help you. So that's the process I put in this. So effectively, every single thing that you need to do to be able to reprogram the subconscious is what that. I'll give you one example which you can starting today. And try it out. You've got nothing to lose. The two most powerful words in the universe are I and am. Even spiritually, I am. Most of us, we go through life saying I'm stressed, I'm hassled, I'm not good at stock market, I'm not good at money. What happens? So stress and lack and anxiety starts following us. So if a guy keeps saying I'm not good at stock market and he wonders why everybody around him is a genius in the stock market except him, you know why. And if somebody says I'm not good at money and then he wonders why there are more number of days than money in the month, then you know why. So starting today, whatever is happening in your life, whatever is the status, stop focusing on that and say this: I am strong, I am healthy, I am prosperous, I am successful. Therefore success and prosperity and abundance will start chasing you. And this is not a joke, and this is not some ordinary rhetoric, because I and am are the only two words which can penetrate the subconscious, which is so difficult to penetrate. Try it from today. So effectively, I believe there are two ways to run life. One is constantly hope that everything will be fine, which is good. But the world is throwing such negativity at us. You open the TV channel and he is trying to convince you that probably dying is the best thing that can happen to you today. And with that kind of negativity is almost impossible. You'll be going constantly through insecurity and uncertainty and tension. But there's another way to live life. Is to go through life walking that come what may, I can handle it. Kuch bhi ho, I can handle it. That's a great way to live life. And that's what my vision of writing this book is. And we were all born to be fearless and unstoppable. But somewhere along the line, like you were mentioning yesterday, we forgot about that. It's time for us to reclaim that power. And that time is now. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Pathasarthi. It was really, I